This week, I think that the material was conveyed pretty well, rather than lecturing to the kids the whole time. We had a variety of activities that the children were involved with. Uh, the activities included having them fill out a worksheet about magazine ads, and then sharing their ads with the rest of class. We then had a presentation on different techniques that were used in ads to appeal to people and convince them to use their product or service. The presentation was also very interactive, since we allowed the children to share their own ads that they chose from the magazine and relate them to the different techniques that are used and that we're discussing. When the ad technique presentation was over, we gave time for the children to make their own ads using the newly learned techniques from the presentation. The material was received well. The children were very involved with the lesson plan. Many of the children were absent for a field trip, though, but this allowed us to guide the kids more easily on an individual basis, since there are less kids there. There's more teachers per child. Through our discussions, it seemed that the children were able to see how advertisements target and convince people to use their product. The advertisements that the children produced themselves also displayed how well they seemed to understand the material, which seemed to be pretty well. Improvements. The timing of the lesson plan could have been improved. At a few points throughout the lesson plan, we seemed to stretch out some activities. During the beginning, we just stretched out a few activities, which inevitably led to us being a little short on time. In the last activity, which a few of the kids were having difficulty finishing, but we helped them out, and all the kids ended up finishing. We just didn't get to do the wrap-up, but the children did get to present their the advertisements that they made, and were able to describe them and relate them to the lesson. Also, I think that the whole lesson could have been more effective if more age-appropriate advertisements were used. We had some, but not all of them were targeted towards them. But then again, this could have been good, because using different age targets and stuff like that allowed them to understand target audience more. It allowed them to see stuff that obviously they wouldn't buy, but other people definitely would buy based on who they were. What I learned about the students, I learned that although they probably haven't been taught about advertisements the way we taught them, they seem to be quite savvy at identifying when an ad might sound too good to be true, and also how the ad can convince them to buy a product. They're also pretty good at knowing what constructing advertisements. They demonstrate this. They demonstrate how well they knew how advertisements were constructed through our last activity when they made the advertisements, and they did a pretty good job doing that. All that seemed pretty convincing, and if they had more time, they would have been really good. With the time that they had, they were definitely effective, and I think overall the lesson plan was pretty effective, a lot better than last week. All right.